eThekwini Mayor Cyril Xaba has given an update on various issues affecting the metro, including the resettling of flood victims and the expensive statues of two struggle icons that are soon to be unveiled. Newzroom Afrika's Silethiwe Ndlovu has more details on the story and joins us now live. Silethiwe, you recently interacted with some of the flood victims living in Durban. What are the current biggest outcries?
Well, the biggest outcry, of course, is being resettled to their permanent homes. And of course, we heard quite a bit on that from this briefing that took place just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to bring in now the eThekwini Mayor Cyril Xaba, who's going to elaborate not only on the flood victims, but Mayor, thank you very much for your time. I think perhaps just to start off, I want to go back to the matter of these statues. Much backlash at this particular moment regarding the statues themselves. Maybe just your comment on that backlash.
Well, let me start by saying that we have installed two statues of President Mandela as well as Oliver Tambo in the city. And so the President of the Republic will be unveiling them on the 6th of March this year. So we're excited that the President has accepted our invitation to come and unveil the two statues. The statue where President Mandela, the grounds where President Mandela is standing, and he delivered his seminal speech 2 weeks after he was released from prison. It was on the 25th of February 1990. That statement, the statement that came to define his philosophy during his tenure in government. Philosophy when it comes to peace, reconciliation, and unity and nation building. You recall the statement he made that we must end violence now, and we must throw our guns, knives, and pangas into the sea at the time. And we're just in the middle. In fact, violence was raging across the country, but he was brave to make that call to the people of KwaNatal at the time. So I was there, so I became emotional because I listened to him making this call to us. I was in the youth structure at the time. So, and the backlash you are referring to, well, it's mainly on the price we pay for the statues. It's just that people, I don't know what they are comparing it with, because the statue that stands in front of the Union building is the same size, same height, and but it's 3.5 tons in the one in Union building. And this one in Durban is 8,000, so it's what you call is 8 tons. So you can then start to compare the material that was used between the two statues. The one in Union Building was built in 2013, and this one was built about 2021, 2022. And the Durban one was built in China. You must take into account the exchange rate when the one in Pretoria was built in the country, and you must also take the time lapse between the two statues, one in 2013 and the other one in 2021. So if you compare prices, I leave it to the public to judge whether we are still way out considering the issues that have just advanced. Same height but different material.
And as you're talking about the public, Mayor, we know that some have stated that the money that was directed towards the statues could have gone towards service delivery. What do you say to that? Are you still firm on your stance that the statues should have been constructed, because of course, when you look at Durban, you look at a tourist destination? Or are you also stating that, yes, indeed, perhaps service delivery could have been prioritized?
You see, the economy of the city, the way I look at it, is going to grow if we invest in tourism products, as it were. And just in the last festive seasons, the numbers of people who came to the city have increased significantly. And just recently, the Time Out Worldwide magazine has ranked Durban number 14 as the best tourist destination for 2026. We want to maintain that, you know, and so that is going to, send a message to people who are considering making plans to visit abroad that Durban is ready to receive them. If you look at most Mapita that we built, consider the amount of money we built, just most Mapita alone. These facilities are not for money making, but they catalyze the economy in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. That today we speak of a 50 billion rand worth of investment that we attracted the last year. You know, main of it is in the tourism environment. It explains to us that unless as a city we start to increase our offerings to the public, that when a tourist is in the city, must not sleep in the city and spend the money outside the city, but must, when in the city, and spend the money in the city and consider what you call extending his stay. When people come for Kaizer Chiefs, for any match in Durban, or they come for what you call this July handicap, I don't know what to call it nowadays, but when they are here, we must make them spend their money here. You must make them extend their stay. So I don't see it as a waste, and I see as catalyzing our economy. I reported at the press briefing that there is a State Bank facility, is a Kudmore, what you call a castle. It was built in the 19th century. And, I'm jealous of it, you know. And if you ask me to invest in that castle, I will invest in that castle because it's going to increase a number of tourists who visit that castle. So I'm looking for more tourism areas where I can invest the money in.
Now, Mayor, going on to the homeless relocations, how will you prevent this from becoming another cycle of displacement where homeless people are simply moved out of sight and later return? And what reinforcement and support mechanisms are currently in place?
We are building a shelter as we speak. We call it Sakitemba Build Hope. It's 1,200 units, and it will be available later in the year, but we can't wait for later in the year. We need to do something as we speak. We've started now making a call to parents, relatives, and to come forward and be part of funding a solution to this problem. We're appealing to church, to the clergy, to also add its weight to this problem, because as we speak, we have over 16,000 homeless people in the city. So this 1,200, what I said, 1,200, yeah, a unit facility is just a drop in the ocean. So we can only win this battle by persuading them to willingly go back home. But you can only achieve that if you address the environment that produced them. You involve their families, because it's that family setup that produced this homelessness. Mm-hmm. So any counseling, any program we have, and it must bring them on board. Like as you speak now, I'm getting calls from parents and relatives who are saying to us, we must help them, meet with their own relatives that they know are homeless, are on the street as we speak. So we're assisting them, and the idea is that those that are willing to be reintegrated, we facilitate that reintegration, we take them back home, we speak to their parents, and we also have people from other countries here, Tanzania in the main. So we will be talking to the diplomatic mission because we need to involve them. Because there's just no way, if they're here, unless you involve the diplomatic missions, to facilitate, and they are going back and also getting reintegrated that side, they will come back or they remain in the city. So we must use a multi-pronged strategy to deal with this problem of homelessness. Not law enforcement. Law enforcement alone is not going to assist, because what happens as you drive them out, and they disappear into the neighborhood and then re-emerge 2 days later and then occupy the other side of the road.
eThekwini Mayor Cyril Xaba, they're having a conversation with us, not only about what took place here in the briefing, but also what's set to take place in the next few months when you're looking at the flood victims that we have here in the city of Durban, but also addressing the major backlash that has been received, and this is now after those two statues came about.
Silethiwe coming live from us from eThekwini there.